Around Big YouTube, it's Wednesday, you know what that means. It is brand new comic book day, so let's get into it. This week I got my order from Midtown Comics. They were having a special 99-cent flash sale, so I figured take advantage of that, get my new books as well. So we got a mix of new stuff and 99-cent back issues. Let's get into it. When I order online, I always open the box on camera so you can see the safety and security your orders will be sent with. Next week is going to be another Midtown Comics unboxing from July. I did a very big order in July. I've been trying to wait to drop that. Didn't know when I was going to do it. So in place of a new comic book day, it's going to be a special Midtown Comics haul that I got from July. So look forward to that. We're going to be doing brand new stuff in September. So we get her open here. We got the box. We got bubble wrap. Receipt and the iconic Midtown Comics bag. Now when you buy from the 99-cent sales, those 99-cent books you get are not going to be bagged and boarded, but everything else will be. So know that when you're ordering from these flash sales, but 99 cents is a still bag or not, so I am not going to complain about that. So we're going to start with the back issues. I only got a few because I hit up these sales quite often. So we have the Scorched #1. I already have this in my collection, but this is an alternate cover featuring She-Spawn on a motorcycle that I really dug. This is a very fun series. I didn't like the first arc, the first 10 issues. I hopped back in a couple years after that going, and I've been along for the ride ever since. So that was from Image, and this is from Jinx World. I believe they're a subsidiary of DC. And it's called Pearl. I actually have a bunch of books from this series scattered in my collection. Last series, I got the full run, but I've been going through the back issues. Through sales like this, I really enjoy it. It is a Japanese mafia story. Beautiful art. The storytelling can be a bit confusing at times, but it's always a great book to look at. And then we have a book that just, the title alone and the cover, interested me. It's called Angela de la Muerte, and it's from Red 5 Comics. I got issues #1 and #2. It looks like some kind of science fiction space thing. As you know, I always say that sometimes you can't judge a book by its cover because comic books are not only a written medium, but they're driven by their art. And so I will occasionally look at the art of a book and the title and make a judgment, especially when it's something as cost effective as 99 cents. And yeah, just flipping through this already, it's a beautiful looking book. It looks like it takes place in a space station. Great book. I already can tell it's going to be one of these things that I really enjoy from the art alone. So those are a few things I've gotten from the 99-cent sale. Like I said, when I hit up the sales, I very rarely get a bunch of stuff because I have been, shopping these sales for so long that a lot of back issues they have on sale I already have in my collection. So let's get to the new stuff here we're going to be looking at. Starting off with Dark Honor #4. It is a gangland mafia story set in New York during the height of the COVID pandemic. Very, very interesting book. It's from Image Comics. And it's very creative. It's almost like the pandemic plays another character in the story. So I've really been enjoying that one, but I have been enjoying most of what Image Comics puts out lately. Again, another Image comic, Bloodletter number 3. This is a new superhero added into the Spawn universe, except for she is not working alongside Spawn. She wants to kill Spawn for something he did before he became Spawn as Al Simmons. And so it's a tale of revenge, and it's interesting that our protagonist in this book is going after the ultimate protagonist in the Spawn universe. And so that is a fun take, another great entry into that universe. And again, from guess who, Image Comics, Exquisite Corpses number 4. This is kind of a horror piece mixed with some social commentary and a bit of dystopianism about these rich families that secretly rule the world and to decide who will be ruling for the next, can't remember how many years. They have these competitions where they take over towns and then they're killers, and it is just a bloodbath. Very, very interesting. I haven't heard a bad thing about it. I've only met one person who didn't enjoy it. It's because they were not a big fan of gore and horror, but I am, so it is good with me. And then we have from Image Comics, this is just a whole Image week it looks like. We got Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger number 8. And this is not the current Gunslinger Spawn series. This is a prequel focusing on his life in the 1800s and how he came to be Gunslinger Spawn. Very fun book. It's a Spawn universe book with a Western aesthetic. And I am a huge fan of the Gunslinger Spawn characters. So. And speaking of, can you guess who this is from? Image Comics, and it is Gunslinger Spawn number 46. This is him in the modern day, and I really like this. I like this cover of his. He's on his horse here, his dead horse, and looking very powerful against the blue backdrop. So it's a whole completely different aesthetic from the Western aesthetic that you see here with Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger. We're almost to the end of this week's haul. And then from Image Comics and Skybound, we have G.I. Joe number 10. Now this series is different from the long-running G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero series that has been running since '84. This is a brand new G.I. Joe universe set in the Energon universe, which combines G.I. Joe, Void Rivals, and the Transformers. And so it's all connected and shared, and it started off a couple years back with individual series. I think the first one was Duke. We met the Duke character. He was going through a real rough time after losing his fellow soldier and friend to some kind of robotic jet that transformed at mid-attack. And so he's trying to work through that and figure out what happened to his friend. Great series. And then we had other series featuring Cobra Commander, Destro, Scarlet, and some other. I think there were a few more. Cobra Commander, Destro, Scarlet. Okay, I can't remember the other, but there were a couple more on the G.I. Joe side, and then the Transformers and Void Rivals of that. And then finally, we're going to be ending with one of my favorite books. And surprise, surprise, it is not from Image Comics. It is from Titan Comics. It is a Robert E. Howard classic, Conan the Barbarian number 23. Yes, they still make new Conan stories based on the original Robert E. Howard stories. And I am really enjoying what Titan Comics is doing with this run. When the property was with Marvel, we got more new original stories, but a lot of the original Robert E. Howard lore was watered down for obvious reasons, being with Marvel Comics, and it became very family friendly. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you go back to the OG, the original gangster Robert E. Howard stories, if you will. Those were geared more toward adults with themes and art and everything else. So I'm definitely digging this. And I think, to be fair, Ablaze Comics, they did the Cimmerian series, which was their way of getting around the licensing on Conan. And I feel like the Ablaze series of the Cimmerian, they may have went too far into the adult themes of Conan, and it was not something that you're going to refer to kids or even squeamish adults. And so this is a great balance between the classic and the adult themes of Conan the Barbarian. But it's, going to be safe for you to loan out to a friend or suggest to a friend. Still not going to want to get in the hands of kids without reading yourself, but it's more accessible. So so that's what I got for this week on New Comic Book Day. Let me know what you guys got. New Comic Book Day. Check out Midtown Comics, and like I always say, even if you're not wanting to shop there right now, sign up for the newsletter. That way you will get those notifications in your email about flash sales. They do multiple sales a month. I would say they do 99-cent sales at least once every couple of months, sometimes monthly. But if you're not doing that, they'll do 70% off, 80% off, 40% off, all kinds of deals. And they have the biggest back issue selection that you can find. And so while you may not want to use it as your regular shopping spot, it is definitely a place to keep your ear to the ground on, because you're going to get some great deals. So I'll see you guys next time. Stay tuned for that July Midtown Comics Haul for next Wednesday. And keep reading them books. I will.